Hey, so I'm Sarah Bonovich. Welcome back to my channel. And today we are going to talk about how cochlear implants are best used and how they can help you enhance your sound. So here we go. So I'm going to take off one so you can see what I am talking about. So this part where I'm holding my hand is where the magnet is. And the magnet transmits the sound from this little dude up into my electrode array inside my cochlear implant. The battery package right here, right at the top of my finger. The processor is the top piece, so this little doohickey right there. And so the information is processed to two microphones, and it is also processed, and sometimes you have hair issues because of it. So bad hair day. So sometimes when it processes the information, it goes from the microphone to the little doohickey that was at the top that I showed you, and then it goes from there to the magnet, and then from the magnet into the magnet on the inside of my brain, and then comes the magnet on the inside of my brain through the electrode, the little cochlear thing that looks like a snail. And then with the electrode, it processes different pitches. So each electrode, there are 22 electrodes. In my version, I have Cochlear America's version, and also it had an international company, so there we go. And it goes through the electrode array, where there's 22, and each electrode coding will light up as sound goes through. It's quite interesting because, I can just stick things on here, and it's pretty awesome. I'll try to find something interesting, but I can't really find anything interesting right now. I can get my head stuck on a refrigerator, but we're not going to try that right now. So when it processes down to the electrode array, the electrode array then transmits sound to the hearing nerve, which is the auditory brainstem, and then it goes from there to the brain. So when you get a cochlear implant, before the surgery, you are at whatever hearing percentage you are at before the surgery, and then after surgery, you're at 0%. You go from 0% to however high you can get your hearing to. Usually, hearing will plateau after 1 to 2 years. After it plateaus, it has a slight increase, slight decrease over time. I am one of the few that has the hearing in the 90th percentile. I have over 90% hearing in both ears, but the average for hearing to cochlear implants is 40 to 60%. There are some cases where some people won't get past 20. You should not judge your hearing based on another person's hearing. Your hearing is your own goal, what you really want for yourself. I am lucky that I have such good hearing after the cochlear implant surgery on both sides. I am bilateral. And it's important to know that your hearing does not define who you are. And it's also important to know that if you are going through rehab, for 6 months, a year, 2 years, so on and so forth, it's important for you to know that, you have your own limits. And for you to address those limits, and for you to know that, sometimes I'm going to have to take off my ears for 5 minutes, get a break. It's important to have breaks, but it's also important to keep pushing yourself and to not give in to temptation. And it's also important for you to know that, not everyone's going to be like you. You're creative, you're beautifully made by a wonderful creator. So I really think that if you are going to judge yourself, you should judge yourself based on how God sees you. And I'm Christian. And if you judge yourself based on how God sees you, you will try harder and harder and harder to be able to reach what He thinks is your best. And sometimes what other people think on earth is not your best. You do what's right for you. And then with my Cochlear implants, I've been lucky to be able to go to concerts and stuff like that, and I can enjoy what music has to offer. Not a lot of people will get to enjoy that. So I think that's very important to know, that not a lot of people get to enjoy like rock music and pop music and stuff like that. There are also people who are deaf who don't have the option to get a cochlear implant because of the high prices. There are also people who choose not to get cochlear implants. So it's important to know that, there's all different sections of hearing loss and who you are as a deaf person. And I identify myself first as a Christian, so that's why I talked about, God and that kind of thing. I identify myself second as a deaf individual, and third as a hearing individual. You may ask why I identify myself as both. I am deaf first because without my cochlear implants, nothing there. So there we go. And I identify myself third as a hearing individual because I grew up in a hearing world. I have hearing parents, hearing siblings, hearing grandparents, and so on and so forth. And it's important for me to be able to interact with my family on a day-to-day basis and interact with the world as it according to me on a day-to-day basis through a hearing and talking and speaking individual. And I'm a communications major, so there we go. And it's also important to know that, as a deaf individual, as a hearing individual, as a Christian, I believe that, God gave me my hearing loss for a reason, to change the world, however way I can, so there we go. And, I think that, it's important for all of us to realize our own unique talents, our own unique individual being, that our essence that makes us who we are. And, deafness is one part of me. Hearing is another part of me. And cochlear implants are what allow me to go between the deaf and hearing world. And you may not think that, your deafness is right, or your hearing loss, or your hearing is correct, in the worldly sense. But God gave you your hearing loss for a reason, and, you should really use it for bettering your society, and bettering who you are as a person. So, I think I talked too much, but I hope you all have a great day, and I hope that, you have a great week. So, bye, loves. Stay fabulous.